Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. I have yet to reply to the comments that some of you left on my Thanatophobia video. I've just been so busy, but I'm going to, and I just want to say generally to everybody that watched that video and everybody that commented, I mean, seriously, that was so nice, those comments, and I'm going to reply to each of them. But just generally, thank you so much. It brought me a lot of comfort to know that some of you struggle with the same thing and that also, the comforting words you gave me. So thanks so much. So I apologize as well. I am uploading this on Friday when my schedule is Tuesday, Thursday. I may have to just change it to one day a week, at least for the next couple months. I'm really in the process of moving right now. I don't think I told you guys that, but I am actually moving for the first time out of state. I live in Nebraska. I'm moving to Texas. So that is 900 miles away. So that's a really new adventure and really exciting, but obviously very stressful because there's so many things that need to be put in order. And of course, I'm going to miss, my home, I mean, there's things I don't like about Nebraska, but it's still my home and it has my family and etc. So sorry for that little intro. Don't want to take up your time, but I just wanted to let you guys know that. But today what we have here is we have 6 piles, and it's going to be kind of in the style of the other video. I actually kind of like these short little messages. I think you guys like them as well. I will make sure to post some pick a cards where we have longer messages, but I think these are just fun and to the point. So we've got 6 piles here, and it's going to be messages from the ocean, whispers from the ocean, just advice from these ocean animals or the ocean energy that you are meant to hear right now. So we've got pile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with this, you can choose one pile, you can choose several, but we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So we're going to start with pile number 1. What is the advice the ocean has for you today? Okay, so we have connect to source, number 47. Go within to discover what needs to be done. Create the shift required to attract what you want. So with this card, the main message here is really to connect to source, and what that means can differ for person to person. Really, it's about going inward. It's about connecting to the higher self, potentially connecting to guides you may have, whether those be ancestors, passed on loved ones, animals, star beings, but also most importantly, right, your higher self. And it's about looking at what your truth is. And I talk about this a lot on this channel. You can find more information about it. But remember, the truth is your purpose, okay? And your purpose does change throughout your life. But it's important that you always honor your purpose and that your purpose is only your purpose, not someone else's, right? Not a past version of yourself, but your version of yourself right now. So it does look like there is a need to revisit that purpose and see what is not aligning with it. Now, when I talk about, aligning with it, that can mean many things. That can mean it could be a person we're talking about, a job, a hobby, a belief system, a goal, many things. It could be one thing, it could be several things. But the best way to look at this is really to go inward, and going inward can mean journaling about it, painting about it. There's so many ways to go inward, even just sitting there thinking about it, meditating, and just kind of asking yourself, your higher self, your guides, what is it in my life that doesn't align? And see, even if you don't even take a step back and look inward, it's going to be rather obvious when things don't align. And you'll kind of know intuitively. And you probably know, when I just said that, you're going to probably have had some little inner voice or feeling that said, oh, she probably means this. And if you feel that way, that is your intuition, right? And pay attention to the intuition, because that intuition is directly linked to source energy, directly linked to your higher self, I should say, which is then directly linked to source energy, which never lies, right? Energy never lies. Our third dimensional self can lie, but our higher self does not lie, okay? So that is the message for you, pile 1. Thanks so much. All right, next we have pile 2. What is the information the ocean has for you today? Beautiful card. Let your personality shine. You have something no one else has that makes you who you are. Stop comparing yourself to others and allow your uniqueness to shine through. Okay, so pile number 2. This could be the case that recently maybe you have been dimming your light, or maybe you have been kind of trying to conform in society, whether that be with, your behavior, whether that be with your looks, your beliefs, your hobbies, right? Like, I think we've all done that at one point. Like, we're all like, I'm not going to wear this thing because I'm too old, or I'm too, young. I mean, who knows? I'm not going to wear this thing because maybe people will think this about me, or I'm not really going to tell anybody that I like, I don't know, model trains because they'll think it's nerdy. I don't know. It's an example, right? But this could be many things. And I think pile 2, there is something in your life, an aspect of you, an aspect of your reality that you kind of dim, that you kind of cover up or at least alter to the point where it's not necessarily authentically you, right? So for example, it could be such little things, it can be big things, but sometimes it made me think of when I said you. Maybe about the series You. I liked season 1, season 2 came out, I watched it, I didn't really like it. Season 3 came out, I didn't really like it. I know this is random, but everybody likes it. They're like, oh yeah, it's so good, and I just don't like it. And instead of being like, yeah, I like it too, you gotta be like, no, I don't really like it. You know what I mean? And it might sound like petty and little, but by saying like you like this show that everybody likes, you believe this thing that everybody believes, you conform to what society thinks is ideal. When you do that, it can be something minor, it can be something major. Those little minor things affect the whole thing. Those little minor things can become one of the whole thing. So make sure you are aligning yourself to things that you believe in, you identify with, and not with someone else or society or the media. And you're allowing your true, authentic self to shine through, because when you truly let your authenticity show, you will be surprised how much just attracts to you, that is for you, that is good for you. Okay? And understand again that, someone else might, like some show, you might not like it. Someone else might believe in some religious belief, you might not believe in it. And it doesn't mean that either of you are right or wrong. It rather means that you're on a different path and that you're all authentically being true to who you are at that time. And you're honoring yourself, as long as it's not hurting anyone or promoting hate or hurting yourself. You are able to be authentically you, okay? Because authentic you is the beautiful you, okay? Thank you so much, pile 2. All right, next we have pile 3. What message does the ocean have for you, pile 3? Every step counts. I love it. Beautiful card here. There is an advantage in taking things slowly. Breathe deeply and fully as you consider your options. Okay, so right now there is a need for you to kind of go, and maybe take a step back and just look at whatever this could be and say, okay, look at the details of the situation, perhaps from a different perspective, and understand that the journey in and of itself takes time, right? It's not always the destination that's beautiful, perfect. It's the journey itself. There is a need for patience right now, okay? So this could be relating to a number of things, because this is so general, right? This could be relating to any goal that you do have, whether that be a personal goal, a relationship goal, a career goal, either way, it's a personal goal, no matter what it is, right? Because it's directly related to you. But it looks like, I keep thinking of the hare and the turtle, and the tortoise and the hare, and slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. I think maybe in the past, or maybe now, you might have kind of rushed through things. And again, this could be so many things. It could be a relationship. It could be a diet. It could be an exercise regimen. It could be a skill that you're learning. And sometimes when we try to do stuff so quickly, we kind of run out of energy, or we tend to give up, or we end up pushing people away, pushing things away for us, because we're in a kind of chase energy. We're in a kind of race energy. And so it looks like definitely right now, pile 3, it is time to understand that the journey that you are on with whatever that is just as important as where you're going. And there is an extremely good advantage right now to taking things slowly, to stopping and smelling the roses, and to looking at things from another angle, okay? So that's very important right now. But definitely when you are taking things slowly and when you are looking at things from a different angle, remember, this isn't about asking other people's opinions for their angles, their viewpoints. I really think this is more so inward. This is about you looking at the different angles, okay? So that's what I have for pile number 3. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next, we have pile number 4. We are looking at what information the ocean has for you right now. Okay, replacing what was lost. It says, you now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew. Create with a new perspective or outlook. This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. Wow, so this is a really nice card. Love the starfish, the sea star on this card. Very beautiful. Definitely pay attention to that symbol going forward. But it looks like you're kind of similar to pile 1, it partially, halfway, because there is a need for you also to look inward right now and to really take a new approach at your truth. And I'll explain quickly again. It's something I talk about a lot on my channel. The truth is your purpose, and each of us has our own truth. Each of us has our own purpose that we have assigned for ourselves that we are going towards. But our purposes and our truths, right, they do change. And so maybe your purpose last year was a little different than your purpose this year. Maybe your purpose last year was completely different than your purpose this year. Either way, what's important is that right now you are focusing on what is purposeful to you at this moment. Now, because we say replacing what was lost, I do feel like pile number 4, maybe recently you have lost something or someone. And again, this is very general, but this could indicate a death. This could indicate a relationship ending, a friendship, a romantic relationship. This can talk about just losing touch with who you are, losing touch with your identity. It can mean many things, but it does appear like there's been an element of death, which, as we know and as we talk about so much on this channel, we have birth, death, rebirth, and that is the cycle of life. And so if whatever was lost, whatever has died, believe me, it has died for a reason, and something will be reborn of its ashes, okay? Like a phoenix rising from its ashes, right? It's a new version. And so know that maybe you don't know what that new version is yet, but know that that new version is going to make itself clear very soon. It also looks like it's going to be such a positive and abundant experience for you, whatever this newness is. So please pay attention to what that may be. And you might not necessarily recognize it at first, because sometimes when we're looking for something, we don't find it, versus when we're just continuing on our lives and then we're like, oh, it's this, right? So I don't want you to necessarily go and search for what this is, but just know that I want to say in the coming weeks, wow, it's so windy out today. In the coming weeks, you are going to really notice what this is. It could be in the form of a person. It could be in the form of a new belief, a passion. You'll know. You'll just know, okay? But really, when this new thing comes, know that this new thing may not be what you expect it to be and may not align with what you thought your truth was. Remember to let your truth be fluid, okay? Your truth should change, but don't let your truth change based on others, right? Let your truth change based on you. And it looks like it's time for a new you, a new truth at this time, all right? Thanks so much, pile number 4. Okay, next we have pile number 5. What does the ocean have to tell to you today? What do they have to say? Ooh, beautiful. Got a beautiful whale here. It says diving to new depths. There is a deeper meaning to what is happening. You might be looking at this from the surface and missing what is really going on. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you are feeling about your current situation. Lovely. So this is very, very deep card, right? But what this is telling me is, I mean, it's pretty straightforward on this card, but it looks like, there's an element of your reality that you are not fully understanding or fully seeing the bigger picture on, okay? And that's very common, okay, for everyone, including myself. Sometimes we really look at things at the surface level. We look at a bad thing that happened to us and we're like, like maybe somebody not being our friend anymore, or a relationship ending, whatever. We look at it and we're like, oh my God, I feel so much hurt from it. But then we don't look at why the relationship ended. For example, now, of course, this doesn't have to be about a relationship, but what I'm saying is there usually is a reason for many, many things, okay? Some people believe there's a reason for everything. And it looks like that there was a really big lesson, or there is going to be a really big lesson that you are to really learn. Either you have or you're coming into it. I think for the majority of you, you're actually still in the midst of it or coming into it, where you're really going to come to this epiphany, and you'll realize this deeper meaning. But this deeper meaning isn't going to come to you at random. I feel that this deeper meaning does need to be discovered. And what I mean by that is I think you really do need to sit down with your feelings regarding whatever this may be for you, and really think about how you feel about the situation, and understanding that, every feeling is justified. If you're still sad about something that happened tens of years ago, so be it. If you feel happy about something that people think you shouldn't be, so be it. Your feelings are your feelings, and there is no need to not write down what you feel because you're ashamed. Write down how you're feeling, look at those feelings, accept those feelings, and then try to see how maybe you might not be looking deep enough at the situation, or maybe you need to kind of flip your perspective about the situation. And in doing so, I think there is a great amount of healing to be done, and that you will come into. I think that you will experience such great healing from looking at this thing from another angle, okay? Because sometimes we even know that there's another angle, but we refuse to look at the other angle for fear of, bad feelings, right? Like sometimes we don't want to face the truth because the truth does hurt sometimes. But it's important to always look at the truth and to always see how things are, okay? But this is a really time for self-reflection, self-introspection, really breathing in, breathing deep, and looking at things in a more deep way. So it's a really kind of emotional time, and I want you in this emotional time to take rest. Take rest, be kind to yourself, and understand that this time is an important time on your journey, okay? So that's what I have for you, pile number 5. And then, whoops, that was actually my mouse falling. Okay, that probably wasn't good. Sorry about that. Pile number 6 we have next. So this is about what the ocean has to say for you, or to you, I should say. We have convey your meaning. Reflect on the way you communicate with others and with yourself. Be sure to express your thoughts and feelings from your heart and with respect and sincerity. Oh, I love this card. It's so gorgeous. Got an eel on there, so that could be a symbol for you. But it looks like right now, okay, I see 2 meanings for this. The first meaning that came to my mind is how you're talking to yourself. Okay, like the card says. I think a lot of you, pile number 6, talk to yourself in a very either mean or down-putting way, or, sometimes you'll say to yourself, like, you're so lazy. you're so fat, you're too skinny, you're stupid, just these really rude things. And then I think sometimes, you're like, I'm proud of myself, and that's great. But, I sometimes think for pile 6, a lot of the negative talk overpowers the positive talk. And I think we forget that the voice inside our heads, how we talk to ourselves, is very important. Just because it's not necessarily tangible, right? It's in our head, it's in our thought form, doesn't mean that it doesn't have tangible effects, okay? If we talk to ourselves overly in a negative way, okay, we can really physically harm ourselves. We can make our mental health bad, but we can physically make ourselves sick. If we tell ourselves we're never going to be able to do something, we can get our heart rate going, we can feel nauseous. So it's so important to understand that you are human and that you make mistakes, and you've made mistakes, and you do make mistakes, and you will make mistakes, point blank, period. But you also will have successes. You've made successes, and so you got to understand that there's a balance to both. But I think you really need to focus on how you're talking to yourself. In addition to that, I think it's also important how you're talking to others. Make sure that you are always being truthful, authentic with others. Make sure that you always are also not being overly critical of others. Make sure that you understand that other people too go through similar things you do, and probably way different things. But other people also have down days. Other people sometimes say things they don't mean. Now, obviously, if it's a repeat, saying things they don't mean or repeatedly doing something, that's a different story. But understand that, people do make mistakes, and everyone has their own traumas and their own experiences, and just being a little bit more, I want to say, just accepting of yourself, but also of others in your reality, okay? Now, that's not to say accept, completely toxic people by any means, okay? I'm just talking about generally, because sometimes we can be hard on other people too. And, I am one of those people that I regret some things I've said to people in the past and things like that. But, usually that does stem from somewhere. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. I mean, it's great. You need to take responsibility for it. But a lot of times, if we have trauma, we sometimes kind of lash out at people, or we just kind of don't want to let people in, or, it can cause issues, right? And so I think it's important for you to really be authentic and tell people how you feel. Maybe it's a time to really apologize to somebody else, or maybe it's a time to just be really frank with somebody and just be honest with somebody. Because also, we do as well, we're sometimes very, very not honest with people in order to spare their feelings, right? And remember, being a good friend means telling the truth and being helpful and being there for somebody. And most often than not, people will appreciate that. And if, for example, some people don't appreciate that, then honestly, that's their loss. That's happened to me recently with a friend, I would say. But just make sure, not to the extent where you're like hurting their feelings, but if they ask for your opinion on, something of, that might be toxic in their life, and you say, yeah, I think it is because of this and this, and they get upset with you, then it's okay. Don't change your authentic self. Understand that you are being authentic and you are trying to do your best to help somebody else. I'm just saying that's very specific, I know, but maybe number 6, that's something you have dealt with or are dealing with. Continue to be your authentic self, but also be sure to err on the side of, how do I say? There's a word I want to say. Basically not being too critical. Okay, I don't know, I had a word and it went away. But again, understand that we're all going through different things, and that people do deserve second chances. A lot of the time, not all the time, people do deserve forgiveness, and people do deserve love, and you do as well. And so make sure that, people are communicating to you in a good way, and you are communicating with people in a good way as well. So that is what I have for you, pile number 6. Thanks so much. And thanks to everyone who watched today's video. If you liked this video, of course, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.